Welcome to Football Discussion Daily. My name is Joe, and I'm here with the co-host.
EGO.
It is the 4th of March, 2026, and we are discussing the Premier League results as well as Real Sociedad advancing to the Copa del Rey final. They will face Atletico Madrid. The second leg was today. But in the Premier League, we had league leaders Arsenal beat Brighton 1-0 on top of an early goal from Bukayo Saka. We had Nottingham Forest draw Man City. Nottingham Forest scored two fantastic goals in the game. Otherwise, City probably was the much better team. We had West Ham win away at Fulham in a London derby. We had Chelsea go down early but come back to win 4-1 against Aston Villa. And we had Newcastle end up beating Manchester United 2-1 after getting a red card. George, which of these games do you want to talk about first? Which of these games surprised you the most?
Well, the game that surprised me the most was Nottingham Forest going to Etihad to get a draw against Manchester City. If you watch that game, you see that Manchester City really dominated the game so well. So you expect Manchester City to get a win in that match. I just want to say that Manchester City were very unlucky today because in times of creativity, in times of creating chances, they had all those things in the game, but the ball they just couldn't put the ball in the net. And if you look at the goals Nottingham Forest scored, it was just a matter of individual brilliance. Because if you look at the goal scored by Gibbs White, it's just it's just out of smartness of a player. That was how he was able to score that goal. And the second goal by Anderson, a very powerful shot he took from outside the box. So that took it just a matter of brilliance. That was what helped them to get a draw in that game. And there was a very big save that Morello made towards the ending of the game. So it was a game that Manchester City would have won, but I just think it wasn't their day. Uh, and it's a very sad one for Manchester City
Yeah, I felt this was
getting
a
the result.
I felt this is a classic. Man City could have and should have won, 5-2, 6-2, but there was two absolutely brilliant finishes, and that's football sometimes. I've been a part of the games like that. I've been on both sides, and that's just football. I think the biggest losers today, George, are Tottenham because not only did West Ham win, Nottingham Forest got a point. There is now, out of those four teams that we've consistently said are kind of vying for that last relegation spot, it's a 3 point gap between those four teams, between 28 and
Yes,
31
yes, yes,
points.
yes, yes, yes.
One of those teams, I feel like whenever I watch them, Tottenham, they are lifeless all year. And especially since they've changed managers. And I feel like when I watch Leeds, when I watch West Ham, they have life. Nottingham Forest, hit or miss, but obviously games like today, they still have quality to overcome being dominated. So that's another big result today. So West Ham is actually now pulled up to 28 points. I
Yes.
think that it was just crazy. I think Nuno's come in and completely transformed this team. It's been quite incredible. So it's a huge result. I feel like for them going on the road and winning 1-0.
If you watch their game against Liverpool, because I've been watching West Ham's games, the couple of games they've played this year, they've really improved. You see that they play much better football. Their games look more attractive. They're able to pass the ball around. They're able to do things that are very interesting to look at. So their game against Liverpool, their last game against Liverpool before this game against Fulham, if you watch that game, you see that West Ham did so well. They played very well. They were just unlucky not to get the ball at the back of net, maybe to outscore Liverpool. But in terms of performance, they did very well. And there's one guy called Somersville.
He scored
Somersville
today.
has had a very good time. In short, this year he has scored 7 goals for West Ham. So that shows you how good this guy is. I think he's taken over from Bowen. Bowen was always the star man of West Ham before now. But from the look of things, you see Somersville has taken over that responsibility. You could see the goal he scored today. It's a matter of brilliance. Some players would have already kicked the ball, but he didn't do that. He was so composed before taking the ball, even though it was an error from Bernard Leno. which resulted into that goal. But he took that goal so well.
Yep.
So West Ham, I won't be surprised with the way they are playing. I will not be surprised if they escape relegation, because now it's just 1 point between them and Tottenham, and then 3 points between them and Leeds United. Them and Nottingham Forest have the same 28 points. So
No, it's
it's
exciting.
a very close one.
It's
So
exciting.
anything can happen.
And West Ham have the best manager of those four, if you ask me. I think that maybe the best manager of those four to escape a relegation fight. Nuno's been in this league for almost 10 years. He's managed several clubs with several different goals. I feel like he's always been very impressive to me. And I feel like West Ham, if they do stay up, I feel like could be seventh, eighth, ninth next year. But we'll see, and
Oh,
I think they would be this year if he had stayed all year.
Joe, remember when Nuno Esperanto took over West Nottingham Forest? Then they were battling relegation as well. He came and he brought them out of relegation. And then the season that came after, that was when we started seeing a different Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest became a very difficult team to play against. So he's somebody who is very experienced, especially when it comes to the Premier League. He has been a coach of Wolves. He has coached Tottenham before. He has coached Nottingham Forest, and now he's the coach of West Ham. So
I believe, George, he still has the highest point total ever achieved in the championship as well, which I could see West Ham doing next year as well, if they get unlucky and stay down, which I think we both agree is not the likely scenario, but still possible. But I believe
yes,
that Wolves team that he got promoted with has the highest point total of any team in the championship. I don't think it's been surpassed. George, let's move on to the Manchester United game. There was a penalty, and a couple minutes later, there was a dive by Jacob Murphy, I think,
no, Jacob Ramsey.
Jacob Ramsey, sorry, who got a second yellow for a dive in the box. I think both of these were the absolute correct call by the ref. I think the refs don't get in real time too. Neither one was a VAR review. I thought it was very impressive that the ref got two very tough calls. I had to watch the replay to be like, "Yep, that's the right call." Both times. So I think credit to him. I think that Newcastle, when they played against Liverpool in August, they went a man down and they outplayed Liverpool. They lost on individual quality finishes on Liverpool. This is the second time I've seen a Newcastle game where they outplayed another team with 10 men and they ended up winning in the game in the end. So I just thought it was a really interesting dynamic. George, what did your biggest takeaway this match? Am I correct on my assessment of the referees' calls?
No. The referees' calls were very, very correct. When the center referee did a very good job, because those are very tight calls that most times, if we have other referees handling such games, they might need the help of VAR to help them verify maybe some of their decisions. But this guy was spot on when it comes to those kind of difficult decisions. And then for that game, honestly, I was very impressed with Newcastle. Newcastle impressed me. Even when they were a man down, they were still attacking. They were not scared. They didn't say, let's go back to our shell and try to be very careful. They were not even careful. They came out and played their game. And you see that it really paid off for them. These are the kind of things you expect teams like Chelsea to do. When you get a red card, that shouldn't make you to just say, withdraw yourself, go back and start defending. No, play your game, because that's what football is all about. Newcastle did a very good job today. They were not scared of Manchester United. You see that immediately after the red card, they got a penalty. Anthony Gordon converted the penalty, and then Casemiro equalized for Manchester United before the first half ended. Second half, the both sides were attacking each other, and then a very brilliant move by Osola in the dying minute of the game, and we saw the way he was able to maneuver his way and then score that brilliant goal. So I was so impressed with Newcastle, because when they got the red card, I was thinking, well, Manchester United, this is another opportunity for them, because remember, Manchester United, when they played against Crystal Palace, they got a red card that aided them in winning that game. I remember against Tottenham, they got a red card. Tottenham got a red card. Manchester United took advantage of that. So I was thinking the same thing is likely to play out in this game.
Newcastle United is a little bit more talented and better than both of those, Tottenham and Crystal Palace. So I also didn't get a chance to watch the game in real time. I watched the long form highlights and because I had a job. But I also thought the same thing when I saw the red. I'm like, my heart sunk because I don't like Manchester United. I enjoy watching them lose. And then I was very happy. I thought their goal actually was individual quality, though. It wasn't this sustained attack. It was one player do something absolutely exceptional. He won the ball in his own half. He dribbled the entire length of the field. He divvied through two guys, hit it in the great corner through 2 or 3 player. It was incredible. One of the best individual goals I've seen.
Yes,
If I'm calling out a goal of the season, this has everything. It has individual quality. It has the moment was important. It has the opponent was quality. It has they were down to 10 men. It has the storyline behind it. It has everything you could ever want. I think for me, it's just exceptional, and I love watching it. And Newcastle also were very close to 3 points on getting a result on Saturday too with that last minute volley from Tonali that Pickford was able to save. So
yes.
Just maybe they're team on the up and up. But because they've had a bad run of form this month, but good for them. And I think that top top 5 race is also now 3 point gap between Liverpool and Chelsea tied at 48 and Man United and Villa tied at 51. We've been talked consistently, George. That's going to be a really exciting race as well. George, final question. I mean, not final question. Transitioning to Man City and Arsenal. I know Arsenal won today in an ugly 1-0 game. There's now a 7-point gap. City have a game in hand against Arsenal. Do you feel like the title race has significantly changed with results and performances today?
From the look of things, I feel Arsenal has all the advantage in their hands to win is in their hands to win the league now because it's for them to. I don't see them. I don't think it will be easy for City to upstage Arsenal because the Arsenal we've always known in the past 3 seasons at this point, at this time, most times they must have if they won't be winning if they by this time they must have been pushed out of the first position. But for them to have maintained that first position up to this time, I feel it's going to be very difficult for City to take them out of that first position because when you are at this stage, you are not supposed to drop points. Now, the way Arsenal plays, Arsenal are more interested in getting the 3 points. They are not interested in playing anything beautiful at this point because after the game, even the coach of Brighton, Husler, he criticized the way Arsenal was playing. That what they are doing is not. He called it. He said it's not football. It's not the way to play football. But for me, I think Arsenal team is more interested in getting 3 points and winning the league because what some of their fans will tell you is that all the while they've been playing beautiful football, what have they achieved? They haven't achieved anything. So they would rather not play beautiful football. They would rather play boring football and get the 3 points and win the league because it's been a very long time.
I'd say the last 3 or 4 years, Arsenal hasn't played beautiful football consistently. I think they've been more boring compared to some of the other teams in the league. And this year, I blame refs and enforcement of rules more than I do Arteta and Arsenal. He's just taking advantage of how the refs have been enforcing rules. George, we talked about corner kicks on Sunday. That it isn't. I mean, it's if the refs are going to enforce it this way, it's a shame that Arteta is incentivized to have his team perform a certain way. And I think there's credit to winning ugly. I think that City's result today is just, I feel like, just bad luck, which happens when you're playing against professionals at Nottingham Forest. Even if your professional team at Man City is better, that luck happens. And City has 4 wins and 1 bad luck draw in the last 5. Arsenal have 2 draws, so like they still drop more points, and it's still 4 points is nothing. It's really 4 points, and with Arsenal to still come to Etihad. So
currently 7 points gap at the moment. Arsenal has played 1 game
Yes.
more than City.
And Arsenal
So
still have to go to the Etihad, which is
yes, yes,
I
yes,
don't think
yes.
they've performed very well there the last couple seasons, and so I think it'll still be a very tight title race and very exciting title race. So I'm really excited for the
But
last couple of months.
Joe, with the way Arsenal plays and the strength they have when it comes to corner kicks, do you think City will find it easy against them? Because if they come with this same approach, it might not be easy for Manchester City. That's the thing.
No, and I no, but I do feel like City can beat. I mean, can and should expect to beat them at the Etihad. I think this title race will come down to other games, not that one. So, assuming they win at the Etihad, then it's still City still has to make up a couple points in order to beat Arsenal. That's what's changed after today's game. Arsenal has a little bit more breathing room than they had. So, I think that Man City will win at the Etihad, but that's still quite a while away. I think this title race will come down to how many points will Arsenal drop in other games, which, because again, they're more prone to draws against weaker teams, and than I feel like City are at this point in the season. And I feel like I rate Pep as a manager much better than more than I rate Arteta. I feel like a better coach would have performed better in the run-ins at least once or twice the last couple of years than Arteta has.
If you ask me who is going to win the league, I will tell you Arsenal is going to win this league because they don't look like that team, even though they've had some ups and downs. But I don't think they are that team that will lose the league title this time. I think they will get the league title this time around. That's what I feel because those that are their competitors are not really they are not really living up to expectation. City has not really shown that kind of consistency that we've known with them in the past. So that will make it a bit difficult for them to upstage Arsenal from that top spot.
You know,
That's the way I look at it.
if you ask me, George, I would say that it's a possibility that City win out. And if you ask me, George, it's not a possibility that Arsenal do. I don't see Arsenal winning 8 straight with the quality. And it's interesting because a lot of the title races we've seen the last couple of years have been either A, not close at all, so 5+ point gap like Liverpool winning last year, or B, a Man City team winning 10, 15 straight at the end of the year, which they won, which is just another flavor of title race. Those are the two types of title races we've seen. We haven't really seen two teams drawing points every couple games, which has happened in the past, such as the Leicester title, uh, the other years we've had top title teams chasing dropping points, but I don't think we've really had that since Pep has come. So it'll be great to see, and I'm excited to follow it week to week. George,
So I wanted to ask you a question. Were you surprised with Chelsea's comprehensive victory against Aston Villa today?
yes, I was. I like I've said, Villa Park is one of the hardest places to go. Sees 4 goal scorers today, Cole Palmer and Pedro, both very young players, and I felt that this is this is the Chelsea team this is what they're capable of when they're disciplined, when they don't get red cards, when they
Exactly.
turn around after getting scored on early and have a strong mentality. As a Chelsea fan, I imagine it must be frustrating that you don't see this more often. So good for them. It was a great. I saw some great goals from Pedro, Cole Palmer. I feel like is exciting every time he watches it, even if the stats don't show it. I think he's a fantastic young player. So
Yeah, as a young team, one of the things we keep saying is they just need to be consistent. In times of equality, they have it, but you have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined. If they can maintain that discipline and they can be consistent, then you can get good results. But if you lack discipline, then that's where the problem comes in. So even today, I think Enzo Fernandez got a yellow card in this game, if I'm not wrong, for something that is unnecessary, just like he did in the game against Arsenal. So these are things Chelsea players must be very wary of. Always going to challenge the referee. Things like this doesn't always end well
yeah,
because at the end of the day, you get yellow carded, and maybe by the time you not commit a foul, then you get a second yellow card that will lead you to a red card.
yeah. We'll see. I
Okay.
think, I mean, I think it'll come back to bite him, but we'll see. I'm excited to watch. George, let me close out with a couple questions. Um, for viewers. Number one, did the refs get both calls right in the Manchester United game? Number two, does today's results change how you view the relegation battle? And number three, does today's results change how you view the title race? And number four, does today's results change how you view the race for the top five? Let us know your thoughts, and excited to see you guys tomorrow.